The required field validator control is very useful, but Visual Studio comes with other validation controls to help you make sure that your users have entered the right values into your forms. The range validator control allows you to check that the user has entered the correct type of value, and allows you to restrict the value to a range. The validation summary control lets you easily display a list of validation error messages to let the user know what they have entered incorrectly. To begin, open the Shining Stone sample file from your Sample Files folder. And open buy.aspx in Design View. Next, add a range validator control next to the phone number text box. The range validator control is intended to restrict a value to a specific type and range. We are now going to set the properties of the new range validator control. Set the ID property to range validator phone number. Set the text property to a single asterisk. Set the control to validate property to text box phone number, and set the type property to integer. The type property makes sure that the contents of the validated control are of a certain type. Setting it to integer will make sure that the user enters a whole number into the text box phone number control. Next, set the minimum value property to 0 and the maximum value property to 999,999. The minimum value and maximum value properties control which numbers the range validator will accept as valid. In this case, if the number is below 0 or above 999,999, it will be considered invalid. This will restrict users to phone numbers with 6 digits or less. We are now going to see the range validator control in action, so view the page in your browser. Enter some text into the Address 1 text box. And enter 999,999 into the phone number text box. Now click Submit Order. The form submits correctly because 999,999 is within the range of the range validator. Add another 9 to the end of the phone number text. And click Submit Order again. This time the validator error message appears because the number is higher than the maximum value property. In a real project, you would probably use a regular expression validator control to make sure that the user enters a valid phone number. Close your web browser now. Along with the required field validator and range validator controls, you'll also see the compare validator, custom validator, and regular expression validator. The compare validator control is used when you want to validate by comparing one control with another. The custom validator control allows you to enter your own JavaScript code to be used for validation. And The regular expression validator control allows you to validate using a regular expression. Regular expressions aren't covered in this course, but you can learn more about them in the Expert Skills course in this series. As well as displaying error messages next to the controls themselves, you can use a validation summary control to show a list of validation problems. We'll add a validation summary control just below the Submit Order button. Set the ID property of the new validation summary control to Validation Summary By. The validation summary control will automatically pick up the error message properties from any other validation controls on the page. In order for it to have anything to display, we'll need to set the error message properties of the validation controls. Set the error message property of the required field validator to address 1 required. Set the error message property of the range validator to invalid phone number. Now view the page in your browser to see the validation summary in action. Leave the Address 1 box blank and type ABC into the phone number box. Then click Submit Order. The validation summary is displayed, showing the error message properties along with the asterisks from the text properties. You've now completed Lesson 4.9. Use other validation controls.